Hello, everyone. Welcome to ScreenTime, formerly known as Marvel at the Movies. I am your host, Kyle, and this is Doug. Doug, how are you tonight?
Oh, doing great. So excited about this episode, but so excited about our new um, rebranding effort, going from Marvel at the Movies to Screen Time. Screen Time. I got to get used to it. Screen Time with Doug and Kyle. So excited about this. Basically, I guess what we're doing is we're rebranding or making things a little different. We're on a different platform, and we are also going to be on some other social media. You can listen to us. You can hear us. You could see us if you want. You can see us live. If you can't catch us live on StreamYard, which is live on YouTube right now. So if you can't catch us live, that's okay. We're actually gonna have Kyle do some editing, a little bit of fluff, a little bit of editing, great stuff, and he's actually going to put the episode on YouTube and be able to, so you can watch it later on when you get home from work or wherever you are. And we also have a special thing where we're actually, if you are so busy with Thanksgiving shopping and all this kind of stuff, Christmas shopping, or just shopping in general, you could actually go to Spotify and you can actually listen now to our episodes, excuse me, episodes right in the car. Unbelievable. We
So
are
cool.
so excited about this. So excited. So I'm going to send it back over to Kyle, who's our host tonight. And Kyle, what are we talking about tonight?
So tonight's gonna be a really special night. I'm so excited. So our theme tonight is we're gonna talk about um good and bad movies that to watch during Thanksgiving. So we'll talk about movies that we highly recommend. We'll just say, hey, you definitely got to watch this around the holiday time, especially the time during or between Thanksgiving, kind of like right, as Thanksgiving's over, as it kind of gets over to Christmas. And also movies that maybe you shouldn't watch at that time, just just movies that just are that we think are just not really good slash just pure crap, just kind of like, maybe we'll have some hot takes here and there. But that's kind of the fun of it. So we're really excited to get into all that. So
Absolutely. And what's great is that we're not changing our format, what we do. We're just changing how we present it to you. So we are going to be talking about movies, TV, and even video games, which we happen to like a lot. Kyle being one of those people that really love the old video games. So anybody who's a video game person, just like myself, at times, um, is really going to love that too. So we're not going to change what we're talking about. We're just going to change how we present it to you, and
I
we're
don't love old
so
video
excited
games.
about
What are
that
you
too.
talking about? I hate old video games. Oh wait, what's this? A mini Nintendo. Sorry.
Nintendo. See, this is what we speak of. So we're super excited about this, and I'm just going to go right into our sponsors, if that's okay, Kyle.
Mhm.
Our first sponsor. First of all, we want to thank our two sponsors that we've had. We've had them for quite a while now. They have supported our shows, and it's really fabulous. We have Zyman Organizing, and we also have Wes Woodson, who Zyman Organizing is all about organizing your sock drawer. I know we have a buddy named Robbie, and he knows about this on Saturday nights. That's what he likes to do, is kind of rearrange the brown and the gray and the black socks. He likes to do that, but Zyman Organizing taught him how to do that, which is really great. So we have that, and then we have Wes Woodson, who I don't have the book with me. I was so excited about coming on tonight. I don't have the book with me, but it's right over there actually. But he wrote he's dealt with anxiety his whole life, and it's really important to talk about it these days. And he's a male, and a young male. He's 23 years old. He's a good guy, and he's going around the country talking about anxiety, and it's really important. He's got a book out. He is in the process, I believe, of making it into a kind of a, what do you call it, a voice book, that you can actually listen to. So he's in the process of doing that, and he's in the process. Don't tell him this. I said this, but he's in the process of writing another book. I believe so. But it's really important to talk about anxiety, and if you have anxiety, talk to someone about it. It's super super important. But that's our two sponsors, Kyle. So I'll throw it right back to you.
Cool. So, yeah, oh, and just a quick note before we get into the episode, I do have the other episode kind of on the dock for editing. So, if anyone's asking, "Hey, Kyle, do you know you guys promised the other episode to be on YouTube with the actual editing?" Yes, I do have it. Don't worry, it'll be on there
Yes,
eventually.
yes. Well, you have to understand, Kyle is an artiste, and because he is an artiste, and if you look up any of the other Marvel at the Movie episodes, you will see the intros to these incredible intros that are happening. We had the James Bond one, we had a Marvel one, we had what was another one? A space one. All these intros Kyle spends a lot of time on, so we want to make sure that it's good enough for broadcast. So that's why it takes a little time for Kyle to make it the way an artiste likes it. So sometimes it takes a little time, but we promise we'll get it out there.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm sure you guys will have a great time. Look out for a lot of Resident Evil footage too. There's gonna be a lot of Resident Evil footage. So,
I'm
yeah.
sure. I'm
Whew,
sure. That's
thank you,
sounds
game
good.
captain. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, we'll just get right into it. Talk about some of our favorite or not so favorite holiday Thanksgiving themed movies, and we'll start off with you, Doug. What were some of the movies that you were a fan of slash not a very big fan of? What were some of the movies that really kind of stood out in good or bad ways for you?
Sure, absolutely. What I'll do is first I want to say I actually have a new headphones. I have a new headphone tonight. I got it earlier from Robbie.com. So anybody that wants the headphones, please write Robbie.com. Robbie will actually pay for them and then send them to you. Unbelievable. He's just a nice guy, I
Wow,
guess, and
thank you,
he's
Robbie.
just
Thank you.
being a nice guy and doing that kind of thing. It's wonderful. It's awesome. So thank you, Robbie, for the headphones. It's very nice. They're wireless too, and it's great. They're awesome. And sometimes I feel like I'm bringing down planes or something like that. Maybe to put a movie into it, I feel like Summer Rental with John Candy, because he is actually a navigator of planes during that movie. So anyway, besides that, so what I did was I compiled a little bit of a list of kind of good, bad, ugly, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Great
Go
movie
ahead,
and soundtrack.
make my day. Okay, so so what it is I've compiled a little bit of a list. I have some kids ones on here too, just because I mean my kid is not. Now my kid's in college, so my kid is not necessarily interested in one of them, but not interested in the other ones. But so I'll go right into it, and I will start with one of the kid ones, which I think is the most popular Thanksgiving movie, TV show. Started out as a TV show, and now I guess you can get it on DVD. But this is the one I like to watch. I even like to watch this with the whole family. It is the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. The Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is
Mhm.
is fabulous. Just love watching it because it's Charlie Brown, man. You have to, you know, think about that it's really great.
Charlie
The
Brown covers
others,
all the holidays. That's the nice thing about, the specials.
yeah, exactly, exactly. They have a Halloween one, they have a Christmas one, and actually, I
For
believe it
most of the
comes
holidays.
in. Yeah, no, but it does come in a pack. So I think you can get the DVDs in a package deal, or I bet you it's streaming somewhere. So I'm sure you can stream it.
I think it's on, like,
Uh,
Apple or something like that. Like, I think
Yeah,
the
it could the
got the rights
Apple,
to it.
the Apple. So whoever has Apple, which I do not have, I probably won't be watching that. But they're worth getting the DVDs though. They're worth just
Mhm.
grabbing the DVDs because it's definitely worth it. So that's one of my good ones. So I'll just go through the good and then we'll go over to you unless you want to go next with one of yours, Kyle, or you want me to go through mine.
Sure. Yeah, we'll do a little tennis for this thing.
Yeah, let's do a
So
little tennis match. Why not?
do a little volley. Um,
Little volley.
but yeah, so one of the movies I was thinking about, this was kind of more of a, I guess you could say, Thanksgiving dinner. Not even really Thanksgiving per se, but I was always a big fan of the movie The Dinner Game. So that's actually a French movie, which
Oh.
was also remade into an American movie called Dinner with Schmucks, which is the Paul Rudd Steve Carell movie that I'm sure more people are familiar with. Um,
The American adaptation, I am assuming.
yes, exactly. Yeah, which
Yeah.
which there are a lot of. We can get in. We can actually do a whole episode of that because there's a lot of American adaptations of French movies, most of which I don't think a lot of people even know. 9 Months, French movie. Yep,
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
yep. Not a
Excellent.
lot of
No,
people.
that's great. No, that's great. We could definitely make an episode out of that because there's plenty of that to go around,
Yeah,
I'm sure. Um, the
but
next one I want to talk about
oh,
is
oh,
called.
really? Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
really
Go
quick,
ahead.
I was just gonna get into,
Oh, go ahead.
it's a really good movie. It's the whole, premise is like, um, it's basically, like you have to kinda you like this guy invites, like, it's like he plays a game where it's like he has to invite, like, the biggest idiot he knows, and it's kind of like a at first starts off in, like, very you think kind of in, like, poor taste, but, like, it does kind of have, like, a very funny side to it and more of kind of it becomes more heartwarming as kind of the movie goes on, so that's kind of what I liked about it. It does start off as kind of like, oh yeah, this guy's kind of a jerk, but then he does kind of there's a bit of character development as the movie goes on, so it is kind of like cool in that sense. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that
No, that's
really quick
excellent.
just description. So
No, that's great. That's great. That's awesome. And it's kind of a. It's not like a regular kind of let's just invite a whole bunch of family over to the house. It's different in that way. So
yeah,
it's very funny in that. I remember. I think I'm pretty sure I saw that, and I thought it was actually pretty funny. I thought it was
yeah,
actually pretty
it's
funny.
good. Both versions I think are really solid. Like, yeah, I just think they're good times. So definitely check it out if you guys can.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one I have on the good side is a movie called Home for the Holidays. Home
Ooh.
for the Holidays actually was out. It was actually on regular cable. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't. It was actually on. I think it was on Stars just recently, and it is called Home for the Holidays. Coincidentally, it stars Holly Hunter and Robert Downey Jr. Now, anybody that's a Robert Downey Jr. fan, you got to see this movie. He plays Holly Hunter's sister. They come back for this dinner. I'm not sure if it's Thanksgiving as opposed to more of a Sunday dinner, but it has that Thanksgiving feel of bringing family together, and they're sitting in front of a table with a whole bunch of food. So I guess that's kind of a Thanksgiving thing, I guess. But it is great because Robert Downey Jr. is crazy, which we already know that he is anyway. But
Yeah,
this is one of his younger movies. He's you could tell that he's younger in this particular movie, but I like it because I like the premise of it. And it's just great. It's a very good holiday movie. So I think it's good for Thanksgiving. I also think it's good for Christmas and New Year's and that holiday time too.
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Um, and the next movie I was going to talk about this is one of the good ones on my list, and yes, I got a couple bad ones I'm going to introduce to people later on as the show goes on. um, but I'm a big fan of David O. Russell, or at least like most of his movies. I haven't seen all of them per se, but I was a big fan of American Hustle because a lot of his movies do actually get released during Thanksgiving. Now, this isn't really a Thanksgiving movie, but I like it because this is kind of like during like the a lot of times like the Oscar season where a lot of like more kind of um like really well made movies kind of come out. You know, a lot of those like they come out during like the fall, and this one I believe did it come out during the fall? I think it did. I believe this particular one came out during the fall, back in like 2013. But it was really enjoyable. I had a really great time. Christian Bale, I thought had that was one of his best roles that he's done.
Oh yeah.
It was so good, and it just had like a big all star cast. And Jennifer Lawrence also was a huge scene stealer as like his as Christian Bale's character is like his kind of his like girlfriend. I believe like it was just it was even Jeremy Renner's in it for a bit. Bradley Cooper and Amy Adams. Like it has a big A list like stacked cast. And it's kind of like a comedy with drama elements, and it's just a really great movie. Like I'm always excited when his movies comes out because he also did movies like The Fighter, which I thought was also another great kind of that one was a little more dramatic, but American Hustle I thought that had a really good balance of like drama, comedy, very like kind of intense moments, and very character driven kind of stuff there. And the soundtrack is just banging. It's so good. So it's like just I would highly recommend American Hustle if you guys can get to watch it somehow. Definitely check it out.
No, it sounds great. It sounds great. Speaking of great soundtracks, the next movie that I have that people should absolutely watch. I know it's a little bit older, but it has a fantastic soundtrack, just like you had mentioned in this in the movie that you just said. Is called The Big Chill. Anybody that hasn't watched The Big Chill up till now, uh, e- e- the premise is a little dark,
Mhm.
but the movie itself is fantastic, and the soundtrack is fantastic. A lot of 50s and 60s music, Motown, and that kind of thing. Jeff Goldblum is in it, a very young Jeff Goldblum. Mary Kay Place is in it, um, and let's see who else is in it. I can't remember the other bits of cast there, but it's basically I think it's 6 or 7 friends. I think it's six friends that come back. They went to high school together. Some of them went to college together, but they kind of lost touch with each other. But they actually come back because one of those friends actually commits suicide. So that's where the dark comes from. But it's interesting because it kind of turns out to be it's like a St. Elmo's Fire fights, Rocky fights, um, any kind of Hallmark movie that you've ever seen, but it's not a Hallmark movie. So don't think it is because it's not. It's a regular movie. But again, that there's a little romance, there's a little there's a little a little drug use. No, nothing heavy, but a little this, little that, and it's just how these friends interact as older people. um eh, I think it's wonderful, and again the soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. And but I would absolutely recommend, if you're not going to watch anything and you come across this movie, I would absolutely watch this movie. Find it on a streamer. I'm not sure exactly where it is. um I didn't write that down, but
Mhm.
yeah, and it's a Thanksgiving movie too, because it takes place during Thanksgiving time. Um, it
Very
turns
cool.
out that they stay a few days, like the funeral's like on a Wednesday or a Thursday, but they stay the rest of the weekend with each other in this house, and it's just great. I just love it. But yeah, the soundtrack is great too. I would love to see comments. If you see this movie, please, put something in the comments about how you felt about it, or what you saw, or what you heard. Was it a great soundtrack? Did you not like it at all? But I think it's for every single genre, every single person. I think somebody that likes comedy is going to like it. I think somebody likes dark is going to like it. Um, I would think younger people, even, maybe my daughter's age, I think she would like it too. So, she hasn't seen it yet. I'm working on it. But it's hard to when there's so many Marvel movies coming out. So, but yeah, it's tough. But yeah, so that's my next one. Kyle, do you have another one, or do you want me to go on do you have another good one that you'd like to mention, or do you want me to just go through my list here?
You know what? Why don't you finish your good list?
Okay. Yeah,
I'll
sure.
see if I can
Yeah,
have
definitely.
if I can think. There were a couple of ones I was debating about whether I wanted to talk about, so I'll see if
No,
I
it's fine.
yeah, if I can
It's
bring
all
them up
good.
maybe towards the end of the list, and then yeah. So you keep going on yours, and then
Yeah, no, no,
I'll
it's all
circle
good.
back to mine.
So the other things that are on my list is one John Candy stars with Steve Martin in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I mean, if you know anything about John Candy and Steve Martin, putting these two guys together in a movie um, is like putting Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd in a movie. Oh, wait a minute, they were in a movie. They were in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they were in a movie together. Anyway, craziness happens. This guy is on his way home, and things keep happening. The plane doesn't work, and he's got to go on a train, and then he's got to go on an automobile, and then a taxi, and it just gets crazy because John Candy's like attached to the Steve Martin, and it's very funny. It's hilarious. It does take place, I think, during a holiday time. I'm not sure if it's Thanksgiving or Christmas. I think it's kind of in between. I think I think Steve Martin's trying to get back to his family during Christmas time, but I'm not sure. But yes, awesome. I like it. It's a very funny movie. Any movie that has John Candy and or Steve Martin in it's going to be funny. So I would definitely go for that one too. Um, hey, if there are any guys listening or ladies, watch football. Football's on all day on Thanksgiving. I just thought I'd mention that. Not that it's hard to watch a movie on a day where, by the way, the Pats are playing at night. So it's they're playing Minnesota. So it's one of those things where if there's football on, either college or pro or whatever's going on that day, mostly pro game. So it's one of those things where people watch it anyway. So I would that is of course a recommendation for those who love football like I do. Um, you've got mail.
Oh
It
yeah, that's a good one.
is a great movie. Tom Hanks, not Sally,
Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan. Is her name Sally in the thing, or is it
Oh,
from another
actually,
movie?
oh, you're thinking of when
When
Harry
Harry Met Sally. When Harry
Mary
Met
Pickle,
Sally.
yeah.
See, I got my movies mixed up. Oh no. But yeah, You've Got Mail is fantastic. It's this little boy, Tom Hanks' son, who tries to get his father and this person who's been emailing back and forth kind of together. It's a feel good movie. It's actually one of my favorites. The reason it's You've
Hold
Got
on.
Mail is because
Hold on, I'm gonna
go
stop
ahead.
you there. I think you might be mixing up I think you
Did I
kinda
mess up Mary and Hammer Sally?
oh, no, 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 actually, I think you may
Am
have
I
meshed
combining them?
two Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan plots together. Because I just realized when you're talking about Little
Excellent.
Boy, you're thinking of Sleepless in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle. Right, exactly. See?
I was like, "Wait, there was no little boy in, You Got Mail."
Okay,
When you
so
when you were
if
emailing
you're
them,
gonna
yeah.
watch if you're gonna you're right, you're absolutely right. See, this is what's going on in my head. My head is going. There's three different movies with Tom Hanks. Okay,
Yeah, no,
which
yeah,
one
I
should
can
we
totally
talk
see why
about?
you get those 2 mixed
So,
up, yeah.
okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to recommend you watch You've Got Mail, Sleepless in Seattle,
Yes.
and When Harry Met Sally all in a row, and you'll totally understand where my brain went there. Watch them all in a row, and you'll get it. You'll totally get it. You'll understand.
And you know what? While you're
Um,
at just throw French Kiss in there while we're at it, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, just, absolutely. Just throw Fred Kiss, and just wanted to tell you something about. I believe it's When Harry Met Sally. When she goes into the diner and she's sitting there, and she's, oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know that there's a woman? So a woman that says, oh, that she asked that the waitress comes over to a server comes over to a woman sitting to the side, and she says, "So have you decided?" And she says, "I'll have what she's having." If you didn't know that, you got to watch that, because I'm going to tell you a little trivia. I'm going to tell you a little trivia. That is Rob Reiner's mother.
Oh,
It is. It's Rob Reiner's mother. She makes a cameo. She makes a
that's great.
cameo in that scene. It's awesome. I'm sorry, I had to bring it up. I'm gonna back on the track now. It's just, yeah. Watch all three of those movies together, and then you'll understand. You'll be, oh, I know exactly what Doug's talking about. So I would do that. So that's You've Got Mail. Another great movie is called The Blind Side. It is fantastic. It is, I believe it's Sandra Bullock, I
Hmm.
believe. Um, and I believe it takes place down south during a time in which things aren't terrific with race relations and stuff like that. Um, she takes this, I believe, this football player in, I believe. I think, and I could also be doing the same thing I'm doing, because there's another movie on here, um, that I really really like a lot, um, that people should see. So, and I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. Race relations, maybe not, maybe just the fact that he was a big guy. Race relations were more in Remember the Titans, which is the other movie that I was thinking. That's with Denzel Washington. That is
Hmm.
also a movie you should watch. So, again, with my brain going on, I would watch The Blind Side and then watch Remember the Titans, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. By the way, Remember the Titans is on Disney Plus, so if you get Disney Plus, please watch that. It's awesome. It's a great movie. Um,
Nice.
Rocky,
I agree. That's so good.
Rocky. Watch the first Rocky. If you've seen it, if you remember that there's an iconic Thanksgiving scene in it, and I have to watch it again because I don't remember it. I remember Rocky, but I don't remember the Thanksgiving scene. There is a Thanksgiving scene in it. That's what it says. I got to go out and watch it again, so I'm out of here. Bye. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just gonna. No, I'm definitely got to go out and watch it again, which is really super important. The last one I have is a movie called. Actually, there's two more. The last one I have is, and I haven't even seen this yet, but it looks fantastic. It's called Spirited. It's 2022.
Oh.
It's Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yeah. Oh, that one. That's the one. Yeah, yeah. I saw the trailer for that. Yeah.
It looks so good. It looks so fantastic. Um, I am not. I love Elf, but I'm not a super Will Ferrell fan. I mean, I like his work, but I mean, I love Elf. I think Elf was really super funny.
Yeah.
One of those movies you watch during Christmas time. I think it's awesome. But some of the other movies that Will Ferrell has done, I think some of it's a little, I don't know, it's just not exactly something that I would watch. But I love that. This one looks fantastic. It looks so good. So I wanted to bring that one up because I did also see the trailer just recently, and I'm a huge Ryan Reynolds fan. And I guess Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell together is just like, putting um Eddie Murphy and anyone else that's funny, Steve Martin, or anyone else in that era, putting them together to do a movie together. Um, just super funny, just really funny, and I think it's really great. The other one's called Dutch. Wasn't even really going to bring it up.
Yeah.
Dutch is actually pretty funny. Um, Yeah, I mean, I like it, but it's one of those. It was number 12 on my list, so it wasn't up that really that high. But yeah, that's my. Please watch this over the weekend of Thanksgiving weekend with family. Watch these movies. We're gonna start heading to some don't watch movies. So I'm going to throw it right over to Kyle. Kyle, give me one of your. Please don't watch this movie because you should be sleeping after you eat turkey anyway.
All right, so what one of the ones I'll start with is just because it's just a really in poor taste bad movie that I just don't think anyone should watch ever. Let alone like the holidays, just don't ever watch it. Just don't bring yourself to do it. Is the movie Hostel by yeah who direct by Eli Roth, and it's just literally a movie about people getting tortured, and I just don't want to see that. I don't think that's a good as a horror movie
Excellent.
fan. Like, I just don't wanna watch that, and it's just, like, the complete opposite of those, like, kinda feel-good holiday movies, and it's just gonna leave you depressed by the time you watch it. I think I watched it back in, like, high school when I was, like, kind of daring my cousin, "Hey, let's watch the scariest, creepiest movie we can watch," and, it turns out it was just the most violent and disturbing movie, and we just were like it just leaves you feeling empty, like, it's just there's no plot in
Oh
the movie, it's
my.
just people, like a violent movie, and it's just people getting tortured.
Doesn't sound like a feel good movie to me, Kyle.
No, no, you could say a feel shitty movie.
A
That's
feel,
probably
a feel crappy movie, right? Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's just a
Feeling
movie
feeling
that
pretty crappy about watching this movie right now.
yeah, 'cause the thing is, horror movies, there are good horror movies out there. There really are. Like, there's plenty of good ones. There's Ju-on, there's The Shining, there's even the original Halloween. There's some really good ones, and I think with good stories and actual character development, this does not have any of that. It has nothing except violence. So it's like, why would you want? I don't know. I just can't bring myself to why did they make three movies? Why were there three of them? You can't no, please no.
It's
My
kind of
God,
like and we just did this too. We just did this episode last, our first screen time episode, which we talked about. We talked about scary movies or spooky stuff because it was around Halloween time.
mhm.
And if it's like a Friday the 13th movie, you kind of know what's going to happen. I
Yeah,
mean, it's just like, what? Why am I doing this?
yeah.
Why do I keep watching? Why do I keep watching 16 kids going up to Crystal Lake, and all of a sudden, oh, guess what? Oh, oh my goodness, 15 kids go up, one comes back. I wonder what happened. It's like on and on and on. It's like you go to the movie just to see how they get killed. That,
Yeah,
that's
right.
that's what it is. So and again, we talked about it last episode, but yeah, it doesn't make any sense to put out a scary movie around a time in which it is a family time, a happy time,
Yeah,
let's get together time. It just it just it's kind of like why didn't you put this out in October? It does at the end of October. It doesn't make any sense.
right.
But I guess people put out movies when they put them out. But that's just the way it is.
Yep. That's what we're dealing with. How about you?
Yeah.
Were there any movies on, your docket that you weren't a big fan
Oh
of?
yeah. Yeah. I have a few on my list. I actually have two kid movies, which I don't have a kid anymore. She's not a kid, she's in college. So I don't have a kid, but there are, I mean, she loves the Disney Plus movies. I still love the Disney Plus movies. We could have a whole episode about Disney Plus movies, which we probably will down the road.
Yeah.
Because I grew up watching them because I was watching them with my daughter.
Mhm.
So but when it comes to a couple of these movies, one of them I didn't see, the other I did see. Um, these are great for kids, but I just would not watch them around this time unless you have a kid. And then if you have a kid that's of that particular age, then go ahead and watch them, but not necessarily on my list. The first one is Beethoven. Okay, Beethoven's about a big, just kind of like a big ass dog. Okay, that's all I got from the movie itself. I mean, I really didn't get. I really, I really didn't get too much. I mean, I love Clifford too because I read the books, but they started to have a TV series called Clifford. It was Clifford the Big Red Dog,
And
and
they
it
made
was
a live
great.
action movie, believe it or not. There is a live action
Right?
Clifford apparently out there
See,
that
exactly.
I will
Well,
not see. It was terrible.
this is what I speak of, Kyle. This is what I'm trying to avoid. Number one, I've already done it before, and well, we love the Disney TV shows, Hannah Montana and Kicking It and that kind of thing. But when it comes to Disney cartoons, we love we love a lot of we love the Bugs Bunny side. We love the Bugs Bunny side and Daffy Duck and Donald, not Donald. We love Daffy and that kind of thing. We don't like that kind of thing. So anyway, that's the first one. The other is called Freebirds. It's for little kids. Um, uh, I know that there. Kyle had made a comment that he was hoping that the soundtrack included Freebird. I haven't watched the movie, so I don't know whether that actual song is in the movie. But if you think about it, that could actually cover the whole movie. Just that one song could cover could cover all, you know, 45, 90 minutes, whatever how long this movie is. That Freebird song could cover that whole movie. So I don't know. I've never seen it. All I know is it says it's really good for kids. So if you got some kids, please don't hesitate. But it's not necessarily on my list.
Fair
Do you
enough.
have another one, Kyle? Do you have another don't
Yes.
watch?
So I had one more, and this is probably one of the toughest movies I had ever watched. Not because it was violent or anything. It's actually pretty tame when it comes to like harsh subjects. It's PG-13 and everything, but it's just so hard. It was just so hard to watch because it was just so bad. I just could not get through this movie. I had to like distract myself. Would probably be Battlefield Earth. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one. Um,
Yes.
Oh my god, I saw this back in college, and talk about just a movie that was just yeah, it was I just couldn't get through it. It was just really badly acted. Just it was badly acted in the sense that it was overacted. It was like John Travolta and Forrest Whitaker, who are very respectable actors on their own. Like I really like them, and they should
Yeah.
normally just light up the movie screen whenever their presence is there, but like it just didn't work for me. It was just a really terrible movie. It's probably the worst sci-fi movie I have ever seen in my life, and I love sci-fi movies. I'm usually a sucker for
Hmm.
those kinds of movies too, but
Oh yeah.
I couldn't get through it. There was this really terrible scene, and it went viral, I think, too. Like it's if you could spell your name, and it's just like John Travolta just completely overacting, and he plays this like alien with like dreads, and it's kind of like almost like a little bit of like a Planet of the Apes style movie where the main character gets captured, and John Travolta's this evil alien, and Forrest Whitaker, I think was his like right hand man. I don't know. That's all I can really remember.
Was John Travolta in dreadlocks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a completely new visual for me.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just
Excellent.
like just it's so bad, Doug. It's terrible. It's one of the
Yeah,
worst.
that does not sound good. No.
And usually I go for bad movies. I like watching bad movies that are
I
just like,
love Forrest Whitaker, man. He's been in some really
yeah,
fantastic movies.
he's a
He's been
good
and John
actor.
Travolta. I mean, John Travolta's been in some great movies too. It's not that I don't like
Oh
him. I
yeah.
just can't see him, and that doesn't that that just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
That's outer limits to me. And
Yeah.
maybe it was just.
No
Do
pun
you think it
intended.
was just? You think it was just like, okay, we'll make this movie and see what happens, and we'll get anybody to. I mean, did they really want John Travolta for the guy with the dreadlocks? I
Well, no,
mean,
originally, so I read a little bit about that. So apparently he was actually supposed to be like the main character, like the younger guy,
oh,
um, who gets
oh,
captured by
okay.
this alien race, and all these other humans get captured and stuff like that. Very Planet of the Apes style, but just like it's just like shit. It's just
And he's
Planet of the
dancing.
shit. Yeah. Yeah, he was trying to make this movie for a while. It's actually based on a book by I guess like L. Ron Hubbard. I don't even know. Um, yeah, I know when you're.
Okay, all right, all right. Well, you just told me a lot just by that.
Yeah,
That's fine.
so you're
To
pretty
each his
much yeah.
own.
I'm sure you got
It's
the
all
idea
good.
now.
I remember those books being advertised when I was growing up, so I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Get it.
So definitely don't watch it. Battlefield Earth is just crap.
I got you. So the last ones I have right here, I think I have three more. Um, this is not necessarily. This was kind of a good and bad list. This is kind of like I actually kind of liked it, but I kind of didn't like it. So it was kind of like a half and half for me. But I put it on the do not watch list. But I don't think it's terrible. So if you run out of movies, if you already watched The Blind Side and The Titans and you've already watched You've Got Mail and the two other ones, the Saturday When Harry Met Sally and Sleepless in Seattle, go to the opposite side of the field and go to Adam's Family Values. So that's what I would do. It's really not a bad movie. It's just kind of like this for me. For me, it might be funny to other people. Kyle, you were telling me something pre-show about something you
Oh,
used to have, which
yeah.
I
So
think is
I
pretty proper here.
so for a time I had a Super Nintendo. I was playing a little bit the Super Nintendo version of Adam's Family Values, and surprisingly enough, it's actually not a terrible game. It's pretty. It does get difficult in a lot of areas. I
Sure.
haven't beaten it all the way, but the amount I've played, it's a little bit. This is gonna sound weird. It's a little bit like a Zelda style game. It's like a top
Really?
down kind of like
Ooh,
action adventure. You kind of go to like different levels and stuff like that, and you basically play as Fester. And he has this like kind of like zapping ability or something like that. It's kind of weird, but it's a little bit fun. It's actually not as bad as you would think because a lot of times licensed video games, especially during that era, weren't
right.
always the greatest.
Yeah.
But this is one of the few that actually has a little bit of merit. So definitely check it out. Even if you're not a huge Adams Family fan, I hadn't really grown up that much with Adams Family, but it was kind of cool playing the Super Nintendo game, and I believe that it might also be on Genesis as well. So definitely check it out. See what you guys think. So
It's one of my first systems, but yeah, no, definitely check it out. I would check it out. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad movie. It's just one of those things where I just didn't, you know, it didn't hit my good list, but it really is way kind of at the top of my bad list. Top of
fair.
my bad list, I would still watch the movie, but it's not. It's
Yeah,
okay, but it's not great. So
like a
the other one I
mediocre,
have,
good bad
yeah,
movie.
yeah, mediocre. Um, the other one I have is any Hallmark movie. No, I'm just kidding. I actually like a lot. I like some of the Hallmark movies. So Hallmark movies is this, and I'm going to explain it. At least my
No, I think they're bad.
idea of
I,
what
I
a
couldn't
Hallmark
agree.
movie is. A Hallmark movie, especially the Christmas ones,
Oh God, no.
and they also have other ones too.
My personal hell, Doug. That's my
Exactly. So what I found out about Hallmark is that this is the quote that I found online about Hallmark. The quote is Hallmark, the Hallmark network, the Hallmark channel, going to Hallmark is a place where actors go to die. Now, I'm not saying this. This isn't me that's saying this. I'm just saying that that's what is said when you look up some Hallmark stuff, when you hear some Hallmark actors and actresses talking about their next careers after Hallmark, there isn't a lot after. Typically, what you do is you have your career, and then, one of these days, maybe we'll see Ryan Reynolds on a Hallmark movie, which I think will be very funny. It should be really funny. But maybe not. Who knows? Maybe Robert Downey Jr. will go to Hallmark movie. But
oh no,
some of
no, no,
these
no.
actors do. No, he won't do that.
You can do
But
better than that,
anyway,
Trevor. Let's go.
I don't actually mind them. What they are is that if you're feeling really blue or down, and you have a lot of anxiety about what's going on. Oh, I can't get the stuffing ready and the turkey's not ready and blah, blah. Put on a Hallmark movie because you know what? It always has a happy ending. It's like the Brady Bunch. It always has a happy ending and it always has this, oh, yay. I mean, the acting is
But
a little outlandish.
fair
But
enough.
if you want a happy something that happens, so the movie they set it up and then something happens and then everybody feels better at the end. It's Disney. It's Hallmark. It's the way it is. So if you're feeling down during the holidays, stick on a holiday because the holiday movies are out. Just go to Hallmark. They're on there. They're on there, and they'll be on there through the first of January through New Year's. But they're on there. So if you're feeling down, go to Hallmark. You'll feel much better about the world. But that's one. The last one I have is kind of an iffy one too. This one's A Scent of a Woman. I love but this starring Al Pacino. I love Al Pacino. I love Al Pacino movies.
Hmm.
I could not get myself to watch this thing again.
Hooah!
Hoo ha! Scent of a Woman. I couldn't get. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I don't know why. And again, maybe it's just one of those things. Maybe it's me. Probably is. But it's one of those things where I just couldn't get myself to watch again. So
Fair enough.
that's pretty much. I have a couple other ones, but these are mostly like movies I've never seen before. But they're not anything that people would even think about knowing about. So there's just a couple left, but that's all I got on my list.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sad too. Was there a movie you want to kind of review towards as we kind of start to wrap up the end of the episode?
Yeah, I was gonna. Can I? Did you have one? Because I was gonna throw that to you first. If you have one that you wanted to recommend, because I want to think about it for 2 seconds. I had all these movies written down and kind of reviewed them, so I have a lot of them in my head. I'm gonna mess it up anyway. So yeah, go. Do you have one that you can talk about?
No, it's all good. Yeah, actually, so for this one, I kind of wanted to revert a little bit back to Marvel. I won't be doing a lot of these, but I did want to talk about this movie that I saw most recently, literally just this past weekend, and I was lucky enough to see the second Black Panther movie, Wakanda Forever,
Oh,
and I'm happy to
yeah.
report that
My
it's
daughter's coming in, so we're supposed to see it. So I'm hoping we see it sometime in the next few days. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely, and I gotta say, like, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really great follow-up to the first movie. Um, Overall, I would say there are actually things in this movie that they did even better than the first movie, but then other things that I didn't think were quite as strong, and, like, I don't wanna get into too many spoilers, but, the main story is basically, like, Shuri, T'Challa's sister is dealing with the passing of T'Challa. They do actually address that in the movie, and I think they do a very, very good job at it. And you basically the movie is in part, you see everyone's reaction to that and how they're dealing with it, which I found was very fascinating and really, I don't think I've seen any Marvel movie tackle it like the way this movie has, honestly. And it really tugs at your heartstrings at a lot of times, at very certain times, Um, but then there's the other kind of problem going on, and that's Namor, who is this. He's basically, I mean, he's a very interesting character. He's basically Marvel's Aquaman. That's basically I think like the best way I could put him. He's got a lot of this
Okay.
very similar moves. The only difference is he has like these wings on his feet, so I just can't take him too seriously with that. He kind of gives me like a Hermes vibe at times.
Excellent. That's
But
new.
yeah, but having said that, I really, really liked the actor that played him. I don't know his name, unfortunately, but I thought he did a really fantastic job. I just thought the character was very silly overall. And this isn't even really the movie's fault or his fault or anything like that. I think just the way it was in the comics. I just can't take his character seriously. I'm sorry, but I thought they really picked a great actor to play him, and he had a lot of charisma and a lot of really great scenes. And of course, as did the rest of the supporting cast of Black Panther. That um, it's just really it really was a great movie. A little long, almost 3 hours, but if you can handle that, it to me it felt even more like a Ryan Coogler movie because he directed both of them. He directed the first and this one. The first one felt more of like a Marvel movie. I feel like this one felt more kind of even like Creed, like one of the Creed movies, which I thought was actually really neat and fascinating. And I thought it
Really,
was
that's interesting.
actually better shot and it just had better effects and better fight scenes overall than the first one. But just some of the story, I thought like they could have kind of worked on a little bit. It wasn't as strong as certain areas of the first one, but if you're looking for just a solid movie to watch, definitely check out that one. Even if you're starting to get a little tired of Marvel movies that are popping up left and right every year, I would recommend checking that movie out and seeing it for yourself. So
Excellent. That sounds great. So you gave me the idea, and my daughter actually got my wife and I into Marvel, and watching the Marvel movies and the TV shows and stuff like that. And I think we're pretty much caught up, except for obviously the latest Wakanda movie that just came out just recently. I think the last thing we saw was She-Hulk, and we had finished that. I was going to talk about that, but I decided that because you got this into my brain about Black Panther and Wakanda Forever, and I actually want to talk about Black Panther.
oh,
Um,
nice.
I found that the Black Panther movie was a little bit different too. Again, Chadwick Boseman, God rest his soul, um, and just the cast was incredible.
Mhm.
They I was super impressed. I'm always super impressed with special effects and movie scenes and stuff like that of today because it's all done on computer and a lot of it's done on computer and a lot of it's done no, not even green screen now. It's all this stuff that you can do on computer now. I I think people should see this movie not necessarily for the story. I think they should see it for the scenes, for the scenery. Wakanda, when you first get introduced to Wakanda, it is gorgeous. This is a gorgeous movie. Yes, there is some fighting. Yes, there is some, there's some, there's a big fight scene in water, which is just crazy. But the my point of view is that yes, I agree with Kyle. I agree that it's a Marvel type movie because it is. But my feeling is that when I came out watching this, I actually wanted to watch it again, not for the content, but for the scenery. It was unbelievable. It was fantastic the way they put this together. Let's put it this way. At the end of this movie, I turned to my wife and I said, "Can we go here? I mean, is there a way to take a plane to Wakanda? Because I want to go. Because it is a absolute the way they portray it, absolute
Mhm.
gorgeous. Let's not go to Aruba, honey. Let's go to Wakanda. But it's one of those things where I wanted to go there. I wanted to stand there and watch this beautiful. And I know it's computer generated. I totally get it, but a lot of it is. But I just thought it was fantastic in that respect. Was it a kind of a typical kind of Marvel kind of type movie? Yeah, I think it was. I think you're right. But I've never seen a movie like this. There have been terrific fight scenes with all the Marvel characters. There's been great scenes in the Spider-Man movies. Just terrific special effects. This just had you just sat back. You were like, "Wow, that's really cool."
Yeah. That's what I
That's what
love.
I got out of that movie more than the action scenes, more than the story. Obviously, you got to pay attention to the story
Mhm.
because if you don't, then you're not going to kind of know what the second one's all about, and maybe it crosses over to wherever. But my whole thing was is that this was the most gorgeous movie, Marvel movie that I've seen um,
Yeah, that's
ever.
totally fair.
And yeah, and that's really how I review it, that particular movie. But yeah, that's I would go see. Obviously, before you see, if you haven't seen Black Panther, I would go see it first before you see Wakanda Forever. But definitely just go see it because you're gonna sit there and you're gonna be like, "Wow, this is awesome." So that's my review of Black Panther. Came out in 2018. Definitely go and watch. I don't want to do a Siskel and Ebert, but it was definitely a thumbs up for me.
Definitely. No, I do agree. It is a really solid movie, and I thought it had one of the strongest villains too. And because he was right in a lot of ways, even though he was kind of the whole like his whole kind of plan was like pretty wild. Like he was like he did have a lot of really great points. So it was just one of those like, whoa, okay, this is a it has a lot of depth. Like I feel like too, and like a lot of the characters that are in the movie. So no, I definitely agree. But no, it was yeah, no, so I think that was definitely a fun movie to watch, and I think we're gonna start to wrap up here on screen time. I hope you guys had a really really fun time hearing us out, watching the show, and learning about some holiday movies to watch. So, but one little quick thing I will say, I am excited about Violent Night, this Santa movie, where Santa's basically John Wick, where he's gonna fight a bunch of like, yeah, it just I think it's like a bunch of like
I don't
crazy
think you
like
have to say anymore. I think
armed
John
dudes.
Wick is fighting a whole bunch of, and the way what it's called, I think kind of puts it out there. I think, but I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just I can't. I'm getting the premise already.
It's great. It's great. I don't. I mean, I think it's gonna come out in a few weeks probably, but it just looks so fun. John Leguizamo was in it. David Harbour from Stranger Things plays Santa Claus. It looks like a great time in the movie. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna look out for that. But yeah, so and let us know what you guys think if you end up seeing that movie as well. Um, or let
Yeah,
us know what
definitely.
you think too. If
Yeah,
you have any
definitely.
movies you talked about.
Yeah. Put some comments. Definitely. Put some comments in our in on our YouTube page. That's how we get better. Good and bad. We take the good, the bad, and the ugly. I said that before. Yeah, I did. Um, and and but yeah, definitely. We're on YouTube. We're going to be on YouTube. Check out the editing version of this show is going to be fantastic. We're probably going to have two that are coming out. I think that's what Kyle said. Going to have last time and the time we have now. And also check us out if you can't see us physically, like live or on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify. I do want to mention two other shows. On the Couch Talking Sports, you got to watch these guys. It's Kyle and Robbie. They are phenomenal, changing some things up a little bit here and there, which is great. But just watch them for a little while. They're fantastic. And of course, the Sports Blitz with, of course, Robbie and I, where we talk about all kinds of sports. And we're looking forward to really terrific episodes with Screen Time down the road, and possibly thinking about um, a guest or two. So we're possibly looking forward to that. Have some things in the works, but I'll send it right back over to you, Kyle. I'm sorry to
Definitely.
take over there for
No,
a
no,
bit.
all great points. We're really excited to, show you guys what we're doing in our future episodes. So yeah, we just want to thank you guys again for tuning in. This is Doug. I'm Kyle. Hope you guys have an amazing week. Enjoy your Thanksgiving or
Happy
holiday or
Thanksgiving.
whatever you guys decide to do this week. And we will see you next time on Screen Time, formerly known as Marvel at the Movies. See you next time, guys.
Thanks, guys.